Hey everybody, welcome. This is an After John's program, and just a little rundown of what's happening. Let's swap this out. There's nobody here yet, but that's okay. Oh, we got one in here. Anyway, what's going on is it's got 2 coats of clear on it, and it's close enough to sand. I mean, this dope here lately has been drying super quick. I don't understand how this stuff can dry so quick and make it so it powders off, but it does. So now that I'm back at home, I need to color sand, or in this case, clear sand, the whole airplane, the whole thing. So the sanding, when you think the sanding is over, just begun. But we're not going to sand with 320. We're going to sand with 1500, 2000, and 3000. These soft foam blocks, 1500 paper on a soft foam block. You want to stay off the ribs. You can feel the line here. Well, if you just take this 1500 and a little Windex, flood it. This is the zen of sanding. I mean, I've been sanding so long, I wouldn't know what to do if I wasn't sanding. I'm just going to knock them lines off and flatten this whole thing out. I want to get it all dull. Not quite a bone out, but the whole thing needs to be dull. And that will mean that it's flat. So you just stand there and rub on it. It's absolutely boring. I understand that my videos are not the most exciting thing on the internet. But you want to get a grip on how to build these airplanes. This is basically it. I mean, we're at, I think, what do you say, 59 ounces right now. 2 coats of clear added 3/4 of an ounce. I've changed out the prop to drop the weight a little bit and try to move the CG back so I don't have to add a lot of paint to get the CG moved back. But we're in a 100% flight trim now. The only thing lagging is the epoxy to glue the hinges on. And that won't weigh much. I almost want to glue the hinges on and fly the thing before I finish it to make sure it's going to work out. Yeah, we just brought up a little white spot there. I have to dot that up with some blue. That's all right. It's getting flat though. We got 3 watchers. Hey, if these videos help you, consider subscribing and becoming a paid member. It helps the channel out. You guys got to understand, I ain't making no money at this. I'm going out backwards. But anybody that's ever seen my Monado knows that this is the exact process that I went through with the Monado. Exact. Sand, clear, touch up, sand, clear. I just don't have that much time to do this particular airplane, so I'm kind of pushing it. Most guys would, wait a day between coats on things. Well, we're going to wait a week till the final clear, but I'm going to try to get this inked up tomorrow and get some airbrush clear over the ink lines so that next weekend, all that's left to do is to clear it. One more run. Same amount I put on it today. And then it's one more sand out and a polish out, just like I did on the Tucker. Do I have to finish this for the next? No. I want to though. I really want to show up with another one of these. The difference between this one and the one that I sold, and it's still flying, one from 2007, is that it was painted with urethane. Different wing, it's just a different airplane. The other one was a Thunderbolt. This resembles the classic Continental that has the same wing shape, has the landing gear in the wing, the same doodads on the stab where the other one didn't. When you're doing this type of sanding, be very careful. You could ruin the whole airplane right from here easily. See, now you can't feel those stripes. Just sand a circle. We got 5 watchers, no chatters. No chatters. What's the deal? Had some kids ask me today. They were trolling me. Thanks, Greg. How do I know it's going to fly? Well, 55 years of experience. That's how I know. Said, why don't you sell it and buy a good one? Well, first off, you can't buy these. If you could buy it, it'd be so expensive, then it wouldn't be legal anyway. Made an executive decision today, from now on, any white airplane that I build, before it comes off the paint stand, is going to get a coat of clear on it. And the reason being is this paint picks up dirt. And I basically got it all off, but I mean, it's just a hassle. Doing more work than you have to do. So we're Bob Rossing it again. We're sanding our ass off. Ain't nothing better looking to me than hand rubbed lacquer. Hey, great. You're talking about the white on the paint. Yes. The white dough picks up dirt, oil from your hands. We had to prep saw it off, and I can see a little bit here and there still. So be advised, if you're painting a white airplane, before you start handling it, put a coat of clear on it. But this is how you get a light finish. Sanding, sanding, sanding. You know, there's a difference between, I could make a light finish, just not put any color on it. But then they look like crap. You gotta have a 6-ounce finish and be on the front row. And this type finishing method is from the 30s. And in the 60s, Billy and Ron and all those guys, they really perfected this dope. Bob Tucker, you know, another guy that perfected this dope finish. It is the lightest medium you can use and the most forgiving. What do I mean by that? Did you guys watch today where I showed the rollback on the tape? How to blend? You can't tell. You cannot tell that I blended that today. No way. Not a chance. If you didn't see it on video, you'd never know. When I go in here and hit these little spots with a brush that I need to hit, mostly on the trailing edge, there's some spots. When I come back with a clear, you'll never see them. Never see them. They're gone. Guys were asking about using fingernail polish as touch-up paint. Don't do it. You can do anything you want, but it's just so much easier just to use the dope that you use to paint the airplane. Doesn't smell any different than fingernail polish or, fingernail polish, so. I think I might have to use something more aggressive than 1500 in some of these spots. $59 ounces so far. It's hard to get in that. I built them. I built one pipe airplane 50 ounces even. The one that Wendy is, I think maybe it was 49 ounces. Had a PA-65 in it on a pipe. A little bit smaller airplane. It was a Viper, but not much smaller. I lost that airplane trying to go electric. I should never have converted that airplane to electric. Never. But I did it. What I did was I went to the Nats and I flew Jeff Traxler's Barnstormer. And man, it had power galore. Well, I didn't understand why, but I said, I gotta have one. Had a PA-65 in a 49-ounce Viper. I mean, that airplane was super light. And it flew good. But I ground the motor mounts out and glued in a electric motor mount. And I lost that airplane when it broke out. So that wasn't a smart idea. Not one of my better moves. If the airplane's not purpose built, I don't recommend doing what I did on the conversion. It's your airplane, you do what you want, but I'll never do that again. So now it's about fixing all the buggers. Ain't a lot of them, but there's a few. There's a few. Yes, it did. That airplane hit the ground, so it powered into the ground. On the bottom of the square 8 corner, the motor mount broke and it powered into the ground. And when it augered in, it really destroyed it. Okay, we got that fixed. You guys like this one better than the Dr. Pepper? I do. I mean, I like the paint job. I'm still contemplating doing that band around here. I just don't have a whole lot of time. That's a problem. Not a whole lot of time. Now, believe it or not, I've sanded the clear. Thank you, Jimmy. Yeah. You know, I watch these YouTube videos. They'll have, the year's greatest crashes and all this stuff. And I see these guys with $10,000 jets auger them into the ground and they explode and all that. And I feel for those guys. The only guys that I don't feel for are those dill rods that take those helicopters and go woo, 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 woo. And I see them auger into the ground. Good riddance. So annoying when you're at the field. Woo, 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 woo. No helicopter would fly like that, so why would they want to do that? I watched the guys from Hobby Show TV. They built a quarter scale 747 or whatever the hell it was. I mean, it was a huge airplane. Huge. Had to have a trailer to haul the wing, to split the wings in half and have a 20-foot trailer to tow this thing. I mean, a little dog or a small child could ride around in this thing. It's huge. And they augured that into the ground, and I'm thinking, God, there went 20,000. So I feel bad for anybody that augers one in. I mean, I don't like to watch those crashes. I don't know what they have. I also follow Remy RC, and he don't be closed-minded. If some free flight guy had a channel, I'd watch his channel. But the free flight guys are kind of a different breed. Because you can learn. I learned a lot from Victor Cunningham, who was a free flight guy, about building light. If it ain't glued to something, you don't need it. Don't throw it around. But you can get a lot of information from different channels, like the Japanese woodworkers. I watch those channels, and I watch the wood turning channels, and I watch Bad Chad. He's a car guy, and he's working metals. You can learn something from all these videos if you just open your mind up. A lot of guys don't want to follow this channel because it's control line. They figure control line is inferior to RC. Well, I got to tell you, I don't see any RC airplanes built like this. They're all, 90% of them are foamy barfs. There's nobody doing stick and tissue anymore. It's all buy and fly. So the RC guys who found this channel, everything I do can pertain. No, I do not. I might do that tomorrow. I take my artist quills. Now, come on, I just had them. Here they are. These are Kafkas. I'll probably use the number, let's see, this is 3, this is 4. I'll probably use the number 3 for these letters. See the bristles on that? Yep, this is the one I'll use. I need to go to Walmart tomorrow, and you bet. I need to go to Walmart tomorrow and buy a woman's blush brush. You know, one of those real fluffy, lightweight brushes. That's what'll knock the leaf off. I used to have a black velvet whiskey bag, but I don't know what the hell happened to it. And that would be for the stump. So I got to figure something for the stump so I can machine turn it. But this has a little bit of sizing in it, so I got to wash this brush out. It's kind of oily. And then we'll load a pallet with sizing. And then I will pull these lines, A, a B, and a P. John, today I was taking a knife and I was cutting off flashing on that wicks over there because the wicks was kind of thick. Anytime you put as much paint as I did on that thing to get it to cover, it had, when I did that today, it was 3 coats of yellow, and decided, well, the yellow's not going to cover the red. So we had a little DC 540. I shot a couple of quick spurts on that DC 540, and then put the back mask on it for the yellow letters, and then shot the black on it 2 coats. So that's like, let's see, how many coats was that in a short period of time? That was 3, 5, 7 coats in a short period of time. So this decal it's got some thickness to it. Built up quite a bit of thickness. So when you go to pull off the masking paper, it leaves a lot of flashing. So I took a scalpel and I went around and I cut all that flashing off. And John said, "Man, you got a steady hand." Well, I come from sign painting. But I haven't sign painted in, I don't know, quite a few years. That's one of the reasons why I did that gold leaf for dummies the other way, where I used the dope for sizing. But we have the right gilding compound, the quickset stuff now. I have some other oil-based stuff. This is water-based, I believe. No, I'm wrong. This is combustible, so it's the good shit. Keep away, blah, blah, blah. Reach your children. Probably have to look up an MSDS. But I was assured that lacquer would go over this. So if this product can expose you, chemicals. I swear they have Chinese people writing this stuff. Listen to this grammar. Listen, it's terrible. Warning, this product can expose you chemicals that are known the state of California to cause cancer. What kind of translation is that? That's not English. Should read, this product can expose you to chemicals that are known in the state of California to cause cancer. Terrible. I didn't read the instructions, but Duck's Gold Quick Dry Sizing 8 ounces. So it probably smells really good. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, more sanding. It's and I got the wood spot knocked down all right. I guess I could do the nose here. Get rid of that star bump. You got any flashing, this will definitely take it off. Hey, cool. Harley Michaels. I'll look that up. So what I'm doing here, this basically, because dope is a plastic, we're sanding leveling out all these graphics so you can't feel them. And then when I shoot another 2 coats of clear on it and sand it out, bone and polish it, it will be like one piece. I mean, they're like it was a decal. And the only way you're going to get the finishes like I get is right here. I can't express it enough. If you pull up a little color, don't despair. It's just the way it is because you're leveling it out. When I shut this off, this hour off, I'm going to make that stripe in the back just like it was in 1969. Tom Warden and his original Continental meant so much to my modeling career that I've built so many of them, and they've been painted like this. This is my second XL, the big ones, but I built a bunch of Continentals, a bunch of them. And I've had different paint jobs. I probably need to build another big Monado to these dimensions using an I-beam wing. People were asking me about I-beam wings today. There is a problem with building an I-beam wing this big. It's very hard to keep it from flexing. But I do have some ideas about a box bar and And of course, I use the Kevlar thread. Yep, get into the air and pile them into the ground. That's how kids were. I need to get them in the air and pile it in the ground. Well, one of my fondest memories as a kid was my Uncle Jerry building his Thunderbird, and he painted it purple. And the smell of Aerogloss dope and Johnson's baby powder filler was just so good. I just love that smell. But remember, baby powder is made of gypsum. Gypsum is rock. Very heavy. Kind of like painting your airplane silver. Very bad. Metal. I know Wendy did it, but Wendy ain't me. Yeah, Johnson's baby powder and dope, man. That smelled good. Ambroid glue going on. Johnson's baby powder, dope. We used Aerogloss dope, Johnson's baby powder. That smell permeated throughout the house. It was great. Used to have really good dreams because you have that dope smell in your bedroom and sleep really well. Of course, didn't know I was stoned at the time. We had Tester's glue too, but it was crap. We had the yellow label and the green label. But ever since the advent of CA, man, I just love that stuff. Doesn't smell good, but sure works good. These are some of my fondest memories of my childhood. Building model airplane. Everything in my life is related back to a model airplane. 1969, starting a voodoo on the back patio. Listen to Vin Scully announce the Dodgers and the Giants at Candlestick Park. And the announcer breaks in and the man lands on the moon. I mean, isn't that a fond memory to think back to your orange voodoo on the back patio, listening to the Dodgers and the Giants, and then Vin Scully. Most people don't even know who Vin Scully is. Don Drysdale and Sandy Koufax were pitchers for the Dodgers that year. Another fond memory was going to Whittier Narrows and pulling up, getting out of the car, walking down the long fence and hearing, yo, 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 what the hell is that noise? Those tether cars going in their tether car cage. That was cool, you know. Them guys used to fly out there. They light a fire in a barrel, and you know they'd show up. It'd be dark. They'd light a fire. Show up in the morning. It'd be dark. They'd light a fire in a barrel and stand out there shivering around a barrel, so we could go flying. That was dedication back in those days. Well, you were talking about combat planes. Before I got into big airplanes, the Thunderbirds, the Vico Chiefs, the Noblers, and those things, we built half A's. We built a lot of jumping beans, lots of jumping beans, combat cats, combat kittens, little Satans, just, a lot of half A stuff. We had Golden Bee motors so they would fly upside down. And we had a lot of fun. We flew them on 35-foot Dacron lines. Yeah, screw yourself into the ground. That's back when I could keep up with that shit. I think I still got I do have a combat plane. It's in my trailer at work. I have a racing plane out in the car. And a combat plane. Man, I got airplanes out the wazoo. I got 2 airplanes over John's. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 big stunners here in this little room. I got, let me see what I got hanging on the wall there. I got my shoestring that I placed at the Nats. My shoestring scale plane. I got a Junar XL. I got my S6B Supermarine. I got Viper 6 hanging on the wall. I got my Monado and my Continental. And I got a bunch of airplanes all over the place. No, it's not a shoestring stunner. It's a scale airplane. It's a big mama. But I have built shoestring stunners and Yak 9s and P-51s, and those were scientific Sterling kits. I had all that shit. We had a couple hobby shops that we used to frequent. One was Cranes, Trains, and Hobbies. Oh, yeah. Cranes, Trains, and Hobbies. And Bill Crane was the owner. And I did the same thing to him as that I did to Ed from Ed's Cabina Hobby, is I'd take the wood. I got a wood rack right there. I take the wood and I would lift it up out of the rack. Let me get a piece here. Lift it up out of the rack and take my fingernail and press it into the corner. And the easier that it pressed in, the better the wood was. And Ed would look down over his glasses over the counter. You boys back there putting fingernail marks in the wood? No, sir. Yeah. We can't have that. I used to ride my bicycle like it seemed like it was 1,000 miles up Hacienda Boulevard, and it would turn into, see, it was a Zusa on one end. Oh yeah. You boys putting fingernail marks in that wood? No, sir. No, sir. But we were, and we did. And you talk about, well, Tom Warden was our testers rep. And Tom Warden was the fastest quick draw in California for a long time. He got off into weightlifting, and that's what killed him, the steroids. Anyway, he's the only one purported to fly a perfect pattern. They were given 40 appearance points, which they should go back to. I think that all this work should be worth one maneuver. Scored as one maneuver instead of a half a maneuver. We got too many goody two shoes. But Tom flew a perfect pattern with perfect appearance points with the Continental, or maybe it was a Monado, either the green or the purple one, I don't remember. But Tom was our tester's rep, and the wood we used to get, man, you'd kill somebody for today. 3.5 pound wood, super soft, super light, anything you wanted. Now I have a hard time getting 4.5 pound wood. I'll tell you this, I'm a whole lot older than I look. Just like my dad, he died at 98 and 1 day. But when he was 75, people thought he was in his 50s. So as long as that trend keeps going, I'll take it. I wanted him to be the last World War II guy alive, but that didn't work out. Smart. That guy was smart. He built speed planes, and $50, huh? That's $5 a sheet. Yeah, it's a shame. We're losing these guys. My dad just passed this year. My mom was 88 when she passed. She looked every bit of 88, though. My dad, he didn't look, he looked 30 years younger than he was. Just like me, I look 30 years younger than I am. I'll take it. Except when I go in the mirror and I look at my neck's starting to show my age. I don't know what to have to give me some of that neck cream. It don't matter. Once you're over 50, you become invisible anyway. Especially when you're over 60. $67. Well, we're close to the same age, Greg. For you young guys out there, never think that youth and skill will overcome age and treachery. Well, here's how you can put together my age. 1974, I was an aviation structure mechanic in the United States Navy. So it's a couple of days ago. I got a picture around here, me in my ice cream suit. I look like a little kid. See, it's my fingers there, it's powdering off. Probably ought to put it back on a block. Don't want to dig holes. Yeah, my dad's airplanes, he flew speed, 1948. They were all hand rubbed lacquer. They didn't use dope, they used lacquer. The lacquer came from the Ford plant where my dad worked at it for a time. My dad's originally from Detroit, which is not really Detroit. It's Barron Springs, Michigan. When he came to visit me in 2011, I drove him to Barron Springs so he could show me. Yep. Yeah, but there's a trick to get it to not crack up over time. That's 1 drop of castor oil per ounce of paint. Works in dope, it works in lacquer. Anyway, I drove my dad to Barron Springs, Michigan. He showed me where he grew up. Showed me the field that he caught on fire. He gave me some insight why I am the way I am. My dad always instilled. Oh yeah, he set a field on fire with a model airplane. They flew ignition engines back then, and they didn't run very good. Well, they didn't start very easy. They had a big concrete wheel, and they'd spin this thing up like a siren, and they get this big concrete, a big concrete wheel about 4 inches wide and, 2 foot in diameter, 3 foot in diameter. And they get this wheel spinning, and then they take it had a cup on it. That was their electric starter. They take their airplane and put the nose cone in there, and they get these engines started. They were my dad flew Ball 60s. He had some McCoy Redhead 60s ignition. The gas they used was white gas, banana oil, benzene, propylene oxide. Pretty volatile stuff. And if you know anything about engines, if you don't get the timing just right, they got spark advance on them. They backfire. Well, caught the field on fire. Right across away from where he lived. Yeah, well, I had a lot of McCoy 35s. They were only $4.95. I thought it was the end of the world when we went to $5.95. Just like that's about the same time the sodas went from a nickel to 6 cents. I thought that was a killer. Well, if you remember, back then in the 60s, they weren't flying 60-size airplanes. Till Lou McFarland came out with that Junker Shark, and was a Torpedo 40? No, yeah, it was Torpedo 45 on it. We all thought that was the end of Stunt, and it basically was, because these big airplanes don't perform like a little airplane. You know, they're always striving for more power, more power, more power. Yeah, well, they're getting heavier and heavier and heavier. You need more power. The trick is lighten it up. You don't need that damn much power if you got it light. So my thought is, especially with this one, this is a 75 in this airplane. You know, I got the best of both worlds. I'm going to have a light airplane with a big motor. And I'm hoping to get this done for the Nats because I know damn well it's going to be windy. My Super Tiger 60 airplanes will pull it okay. But you can never have enough power. Well, we've wasted another hour reminiscing about old times and watching me sand. I hope you learned something. And I will tell you this, for the young guys that ever watch this channel, if you learn how to do this, what I'm doing here, you'll be able to do it to your car, work on your house, you know, build cabinets, make countertops, whatever you want to do. If you learn how to, there's so many disciplines in building model airplanes: math, engineering, science. And I'm no rocket scientist like Brett Buck and some of the other guys. I'm yeah, that looks about right after building 10 million airplanes. I don't need to show you the math. This was his latest before he passed. Well, Victor Cunningham, I'll tell you that story. Victor Cunningham was our Pettit rep. And if you seem to be familiar with free flight airplanes, Victor Cunningham is the designer of the Galaxy. And I used to go to Victorville and chase airplanes for him. Victorville's the high desert, and they catch a lot of thermals there. And I'd get on a motorcycle and off into the desert and retrieve airplanes. Well, we got a little bit sanded tonight. It'll be many hours of sanding to get this done, but it'll get easier as it dries up. If you look right there, there's a little white spot. So now I have to tape this off and come back and airbrush that. And the Gallo 15-cent free flight airplane, they might not be 15 cents anymore. They were a dime, I think. Or was it a nickel? Had a lot of Gallo gliders for dime or nickel or 15 cents, something like that. Anyway, I got to come back. I got to airbrush that spot. You're gonna get those spots in it. Thank you very much, Greg. I'll get all the spots touched up. It won't get its final clear until next weekend. I got to get it sanded and inked. I have to get the gold leaf letters on it this week. And I'm thinking about getting that band on the back, the waistband here, red with white stars inside. And once it's sanded and 2 more coats of clear, then it's back, tote it back over here, sand it with 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, polish and buff. There's a lot of work left to be done, probably 100 hours yet, at least. But we're on the home stretch. So this one and this one and the one sitting on the floor there, the Tucker, were built at the same time, in the same, this one was done first. I don't know if you've seen this or not, Greg, but you know what, let me move this one out of the way. If I don't get this one done, I'll end up flying the Tucker. I only got 2 flights on that one, so if I don't do that, then I got the one up over my head, over the couch here. Let me set this one here. This one's done, ready to go. I mean, it's been flown already. Might fly it tomorrow, depending on weather. But this is all the same thing. Sand, rub, paint, sand, touch up, whatever. This one weighs, I think maybe it was 61 ounces. I can't remember. Oh, you watched the whole Tucker build. Yeah, good. This airplane here is going to be a good one. This one was the replacement for the one on the wall there. And the one over my head there, that was the replacement for that one. I flew that one at the Nats the year that Charles came. I let him borrow that one. Got to get the motor back in that one. This is a pretty nice airplane. It's just I'd rather fly the Continental if it flies good. I'll fly the best flying airplane I got, and I got a month to make that decision. Hell, I might put my old shoe back on and fly my June RXL. I don't know. Well, you want to fly your best. You want to bring to the Nationals not your best looking airplane, your best flying airplane. You know, it'd be nice to get the big block. I have that big block airplane there, but it has some characteristics I don't really care for. It even though it's light for a big airplane, it's 62 ounces, and I can fly it on 15,000 lines. Because of the way that I laid it out, it flies like a big airplane. It's heavy on the lines. You know, the action is slow, and I don't like that. I like, you know, and those big airplanes, like that with a pipe and all that crap hanging underneath it. They're real slow reacting, like round turns. I mean, Billy can make them work okay, but the secret to Billy's airplanes is they only weigh 53 ounces. And I don't have the unobtainium wood that Billy got. So I'm only hitting, that one's 58, that one's 61, I think. That one right now is 59, that one's 62. But you ain't gonna see me flying 80 ounces. We're watching Windy tape, and he's sitting on the bed at the nets. Yeah, this one here is 82 ounces. Really? Yeah, it's just wonderful. Just wonderful. All right, thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. I got to do laundry and shopping, but we'll try to get on before noon. I'll try to get to bed at a decent hour tonight and get up early and do laundry and do that, and I'll try to be back on before noon. And it's going to be carry on with the sand out and the inking and maybe the gold leafing and all that other business, and a lot to do. Short time to do it. So till I see you tomorrow, keep building. Yeah, come on now. See ya.